Welcome to the No Clue Podcast, episode 150. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Tyler.
I'm Mike.
And we are recording after game 3 at this point.
Yes.
We're going to talk about game 2 and game 3. So what do you think so far? How do you like how the series is going, the finals?
It still feels pretty one-sided to me, to be honest.
Okay.
Just to talk about game 2, it's crazy because like Budenholzer learned from game 1.
Mm-hmm.
Like we said, he knows how to adjust game to game.
Yeah.
And what pissed me off is now the players took a turn losing a game.
Yeah.
Like Holiday can't just miss layup after layup.
And take bad layup after bad layup.
Right.
Yeah.
Middleton was nowhere to be found.
Yep.
I mean, every scorer in the league can make like free throw line pull-ups even when they're cold.
Yeah.
But when Middleton goes cold, he can't even make those.
Nope.
And it looks like he makes them look like bad shots.
Yeah.
Like Devin Booker could be off and it still never looks like a bad shot when he's taking it.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, Middleton will find space and be comfortable and just make it look awkward.
Yeah.
And it was just weird that Giannis had to carry them to even like stay in the game.
Yeah, big time.
I mean, that was probably
he played great, by the way.
I know it was shocking because that might have been his best like individual attack game.
Mm-hmm.
Where he played to his strengths. Everything was quick. A lot of it was out of like handoffs, pick and rolls.
Shot good from the free throw line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
he gave him everything he had.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And nobody else helped in any way.
They shot 9 for 31 from 3, and Connaughton made 4 of those. Everyone else in the starting lineup at maximum hit 1. Greek Freak hit as many threes as Middleton and Holiday did. Lopez didn't make any. Forbes shot 3, made 1. Basically everybody who played got one off at least. So that's that.
You know what it was? Normally it's the quality of shots I criticize.
Mm-hmm.
This game, the distribution of shots was awful.
Absolutely.
I mean, like Connaughton is the second guy behind Giannis who could get good shots.
Yeah.
That is bizarre.
Yep.
They still like some of it is Brooks' fault, but they can't get him good shots ever.
No.
Unless the defense is bad.
Right.
And again, like, you know, Budenholzer makes the adjustment. They come out, they play harder, and they're more competitive early on.
Mm-hmm.
All Phoenix has to do is hit shots.
Yeah.
You know, Phoenix was hot early on in the game, and Milwaukee ran out of gas.
Mm-hmm.
So that game 2 was really frustrating.
It was. And the thing is, Phoenix didn't even shoot all that great. I mean,
it was really only the first quarter that they shot great.
Right. Yeah. They ended up, I mean, as a team, they ended up going about 50%. But, I mean, it wasn't that much better than Milwaukee. It's not like they completely shot them out the game.
Yeah.
It was just, you know, better shots, reboundable shots.
Yes. And their wings, like their basic, like their wings aren't like unguardable.
No, none of them.
But when they get quality shots for 48 minutes, all it takes is for a guy to get hot, and you get Mikal Bridges gets 14 or 16 in the first half.
Yeah.
And second half, Crowder got going. Cameron Johnson's been playing great, but it's because he's getting great shots.
Yep.
And like they're looking at Brook Lopez like, you got to play better. How is he supposed to play better when every layup he takes is in traffic?
Yeah.
Every shot, every three-pointer he takes is a step behind the line.
Yep.
And it's like the spacing still isn't good enough.
Yep. And again, all his threes are possession enders because everyone's out the paint. No one goes for the rebound. Crowder had 10 rebounds. Bridges had 7 rebounds. Ayton had 11 rebounds. So you're getting, 28 rebounds out of just 3 players in the starting lineup. That's tough.
And everybody on Phoenix takes reboundable shots.
Yep.
By design.
Yep.
Where again, like some of it is on coaching to kind of design better plays. But when the IQ isn't good enough to get good shots, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
And that's kind of what game 2 showed me is no matter what Mike Budenholzer does, if Jrue Holiday can't think and dribble, doesn't matter.
Yep. If he's not managing the pace correctly, it's just a lot of game 2 for me did fall on Jrue Holiday. It really did. Because I've seen Middleton shoot bad and then still play well. Because Middleton, he shoots a lot of reboundable shots, but guys have to actually be there to get the rebound. Portis only got 5 minutes this game. Forbes only had 6. And then there's Connaughton with 34 minutes.
Again, he's not really good enough to be a 6th man, but you have the balance to kind of fool people into thinking that he's a 6th man.
Yeah.
But like you just said, there's no balance. Yeah. He's playing starter minutes and nobody else could get 8.
Yeah.
Like, how do you go? You have a 6th man and then nothing else on the bench?
Teague had 12. But they were never it was never at a time. It was
invisible, an invisible here, 12.
Yeah, 3 here, 3 there, 3 there, something like that.
But it's just I'm starting to really notice the lack of a point guard presence on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And with Eric Bledsoe, I knew that was the case.
And I feel like the team didn't try to pretend like there was one.
Exactly. Yeah. But with Jrue Holiday, there's this weird, he's expected to save possessions all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't understand, if you could find good shots for Eric Bledsoe, who wasn't really playing well every playoff run.
Yeah.
But Jrue Holiday has to take all contested. He should be making layups, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
But all his jumpers, somebody's contesting them.
Yeah. Yep.
It's really frustrating watching Milwaukee.
It is. And let me be clear for the listeners, we're not Milwaukee Bucks fans. We just like good basketball.
Yes.
That's it.
I root for every team to play to their best.
Yes, exactly.
I want to see a team win or lose playing their best.
Yep. Okay, so that's game 2. Game 3 has been completed.
Yes.
And
back to Milwaukee they go. And it was expected of a different story.
Yeah, 20-point whooping.
Yes. Go. What did you think of the game before I go? Because I have a lot of thoughts.
I told you, man. I would tell if I'm in the Milwaukee front office, I'm telling Budenholzer, look, man, if I don't see Portis get 10 minutes a game, just don't come to work. Just forget it. Because every time Portis gets a lot of minutes and they, figure it out, he gets touches, he makes these big plays. He was 3rd in plus and minus for them this game. He was plus 19 on the court. And only played 18 minutes. I mean, he's plus more than minutes he played. That's impressive for anybody. I'm not saying he's the only reason they won the game. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's the adjustment that he makes from 5 minutes to 18 minutes. And all of a sudden it's a 20-point game. Everyone else was pretty much the same as far as minutes goes.
I don't get, every time we watch Bobby Portis on the court, he doesn't do things to get taken out of the game. Second half, he had a little, he got a little heated.
Mm-hmm.
but that elevates the rest of the team.
It does.
But in the past, like, he really hasn't gotten, excessively heated throughout the playoffs.
No.
But it's like Budenholzer takes him out constantly as if he's playing like shit.
And he's eating. He's literally doing the opposite.
Yes, he's only taking great shots on a team that struggles to get good shots. Like, I would think you'd want him out there.
Right. Yeah.
All his threes are wide open.
Wide open. Yep. Yep.
He's getting layups. He's getting layups constantly, and he's not missing them.
They're just to keep the defense honest, his jumpers.
You're right.
And he's someone every single time I see him play, he gets a defense to offense like point. Like, he always makes a block that leads to a dunk or a steal that leads to a wide open dunk. Like, he makes these great possessions of this transition of defense to offense every single time he plays.
Yes. And he's always
to trail dunk he had last night.
Yep. And he's always putting pressure on the defense to like match his physicality.
Yep, he is.
That's something that Brook Lopez like doesn't do nearly enough of.
Yep. And Bobby Portis is definitely, I mean, clearly he's the best switch big that they have. If they have to switch and he switches, he does his best. I mean, he
I guess technically PJ Tucker is this kind of that as well.
Yeah.
But it's weird because like they don't want to commit to playing him at the 5.
Mm-hmm.
But clearly Budenholzer doesn't like his centers getting cooked.
Yeah.
So it's similar to Ty Lue, like we talked about, where he's like hesitant to commit to certain things.
Mm-hmm.
But again, they have so much versatility that he could get away with stuff like that.
Right. Right. What else?
And I don't want to be, I want to start with the positives because, they won the game. It was a blowout. There was a lot of good things.
Yeah.
Drew Holiday getting hot from 3 was huge.
Yep.
Huge. And they weren't open shots, but they were like good rhythm shots, I thought.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
Especially with kind of the team starting to play better, like kind of pulling away more and more. That's when I could see a guy taking a couple of tougher shots to get going.
Mm-hmm.
I thought another positive was Middleton's first half defense on Booker was fantastic.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I'm watching it, and I remember him guarding KD and doing a pretty good job.
Mm-hmm.
But then I didn't see it against Atlanta at all.
No, me either.
And which is why I'm like surprised where he's doing such a good job on Booker. And I'm like, why are we in game 3? And I'm just noticing that he could guard Devin Booker.
Right.
The consistency needs to be there every night. He shouldn't have to be in Milwaukee to play good defense.
Yep.
But again, he wasn't really taking that many shots. They didn't really need him to score, and he still contributed in a big way.
Yep.
That's all I expect.
Yeah.
Which doesn't really seem that hard. And another huge positive was Giannis's game 2 free throws were much better. In game 3, they were flat out great.
Yep. Only missed 4.
Yeah, 76, I think, %. I don't remember how much he shot exactly, but at one point he was like 10 of 13.
Yeah.
I don't know if he shot that many more after that, but
13 for 17 he ended up.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
Like that's regular now
free throw numbers.
Exactly. Now you're getting to the line, you're putting people in foul trouble.
Yeah.
Like worthy foul trouble.
Yep. And getting something out of it.
Yes. And he was great all around. Again, I think did he even take a 3? He might have took 1.
2. 0 for 2.
That's okay because he was in attack mode getting to the basket all night.
Yep.
Like I thought all of the shots he looked to take were very aggressive, very like, I'm going to put pressure on the defense to stop me.
Mm-hmm.
Not just I'm going to force my way to get involved.
And they do better being more aggressive from 3 when they have Portis out there. Because I just feel like he goes after offensive rebounds at a different level than obviously Lopez does. Lopez had 0
Yes.
offensive rebounds this game. He only had 2 rebounds the whole game, actually. But the other thing is, I think Budenholzer did a really good job with his lineups this game. And aside from Portis, I like that he got experimental instead of just having the same, like the starters just, with one person replaced.
Yep.
I like how he had Connaughton and Portis out there at the same time a few times. He had Lopez and Portis out there for a little bit at the same time. He even had Lopez, Portis, and Greek Freak there for 2 minutes or so and just going big, and it looks nice. He made these different adjustments on the floor as far as substituting that was interesting, and it kept the Suns on their toes.
Yes.
Defensively, it worked really well on the Suns. Yep.
But again, I'm going to sound like a hater. But besides those positives that I said, and Budenholzer, doing a good job.
Yeah.
Showing that the team is versatile.
Yeah.
Which, again, I don't care if they can't make shots. They still could be versatile.
Right.
I wasn't that impressed.
Go on. Keep going.
First of all, Scott Foster was refereeing the game, and it showed.
Uh-huh.
It showed. I don't remember the last time I've pointed out specific calls that have impacted the game on here.
Mm-hmm.
But that offensive foul that they called a defensive foul on Crowder.
Yeah.
When Giannis just barreled through him.
Yeah.
I don't understand how that's a defensive foul.
I'm with you.
Maybe it's again, and you can't call flop. Maybe if it was a flop, I'd be like, you still can't call it the opposite way just because it was a flop. You just let it go.
Right.
And to me, they showed it on the replay, and I'm like, there's literally nothing here to make it a defensive foul.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second call that pretty much ended the game was late in the first half. The Bucks are going on a huge run, really pulling away. And Middleton drives left straight at Ayton. Ayton just contests normally.
Yep.
Foul.
Yep.
Because Middleton fell awkwardly.
And that was Ayton's third, right?
Ayton's third foul, and he barely played in the second half because he picked up his fourth in the third.
Right.
And I just big. Those 2 calls really messed up the Suns' rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
Because once Ayton got in foul trouble, the Saric absence was very noticeable.
Yeah.
And I talked about it when he got hurt, is if now Ayton has to stay out of foul trouble.
Yeah. Because then Cam Johnson played a lot more minutes and he got in foul trouble.
Right. Yeah. But it's the problem for me is Phoenix had to go small and they had no answer for Giannis.
Right. And Kaminsky wasn't it?
No.
Yeah. Portis was working Kaminsky. Everybody was working Kaminsky.
Yeah. And Kaminsky's not he's not ready to get stops. He's just not. But I don't expect him to.
Right. This is not his game.
Right. So I wasn't really surprised that he looked like a weak link out there. I really didn't. I was happy that they went small.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is kind of your only choice without Saric.
Right.
But the other thing that hurt them was they were cold.
Mm-hmm.
Other than Crowder, everybody was missing open looks.
Yeah.
Just shots that they were knocking down the first 2 games that, are great shots to get. Mm-hmm. They were just missing.
Yep. Yep.
So I'm watching Milwaukee pull away, and Milwaukee's, playing great. They're doing certain things better. But it's, Phoenix could have made maybe 4 or 5 of those threes. We'd be in halftime at a tie game.
Yeah.
Or a possession game. So I just it seemed like it was such a blowout at halftime when it really was just a couple subtle things.
Yeah.
That changed the momentum of the game.
Yep. The other thing is, go ahead.
No, go ahead and say what you were going to say, because I kind of have a completely different point after that.
Oh, okay. The other thing is there was a big change in aggression. I mean, which we expected coming home for Milwaukee, but Milwaukee definitely was more aggressive on both ends
Yes.
in this game. And even though there were shots Phoenix hit, I think that the Bucks still did a good job of getting a hand up on a lot of shots that were like completely wide open in the last two games. I think the Bucks were there a lot of times, but still, it was just the way Cam Payne played, the way Booker played. Is just not something that I think they'll get often for the rest of the finals.
Yeah, Booker probably had not probably he had the worst game of the playoff run.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were criticizing him, but I thought it was Middleton playing really good defense on him.
I agree. Yeah.
And not just letting him bump him and get, space pretty easily. He was doing a good job of staying in front of him.
See, but this is the one time for me that Booker falls short of being a facilitator at all when he gets like this.
Yes.
When he's missing shots, he doesn't make an effort to pump fake and go create shots for anyone else when he's off. He just keeps shooting, keeps trying to get open, keeps shooting. To me, if you go 3 for 14, I need more than 2 assists. Or I need at least more than 1 turnover. At least show me you tried to make some passes.
Right. The turnovers, he should have had more just trying to make plays. I agree with you.
Yeah.
But the assists weren't really there because, he was getting left with Middleton on an island. It wasn't like, there was a lot of space to work with.
Yeah, but if he, he could have drove, he could have did something, called a pick for, high screen and roll. Yeah. And done something. I mean, guys, they get on the island, it's not there, they call for a screen and they make something else happen. CP will do it.
That's what he struggled with. He could have ran more pick and rolls, just kind of gotten other people involved in his plays.
Yeah.
And he never even really made an effort to do that.
Because when you're an elite player, you don't shoot yourself completely off the court.
Right.
You don't do that. And the Kobe talk for him, the Mamba mentality. Kobe doesn't do that. He shoots bad, and we talked about it. Something else gets replaced. Even Brandon Roy, guys like that, they shot bad. Okay, I'm getting 6 assists. I'm getting rebounds. Booker shot bad and just said, "Okay, I'm good. I'll sit down. I can't help the team." And that's not good, especially not in the finals.
Yeah, it was, having thought about it initially, I told you after the game that he got benched rightfully because he was really bad.
Yeah.
But it felt like even though they were getting killed, I shouldn't feel like, Booker doesn't need to come back in this game because he's not going to help.
Exactly.
I never felt like that with CJ McCollum, and he's sold a number of games for Portland.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't feel like that for a lot of his peers.
Yeah, that's where he falls short from the standard that people are holding him to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we'll see how he responds. That'll really show us, how whether this was just a bad night or if he's selling the series, to be honest.
Right. Yeah. And CP, the leader and the experience he is, he'll probably tell him, "Look, man, you're not shooting good. We got to do something else. Make it happen. These guys, they're overplaying you on every play. So, draw 2 guys. Let us hit somebody else on the cut, anything."
Yeah. And CP frustrated me more than Booker did because he had shot so great the first 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
And he pulled a LeBron in that game 3 where it's I can't create. Cam Johnson, throw something up, or Bridges, throw something up.
Yeah.
I'm watching the game in mid third quarter. I'm like, yo, CP, I don't care if you're gonna miss. Start missing.
Yeah, this is one of those games that your best player needs more than 14 shots if you lose by 20.
They both took 14 shots, and I'm coming out the game like that's not nearly enough.
Yeah.
This game, the Suns surprisingly, it was kind of out of reach, but they stayed, a run away from coming back.
Yeah, they did. They did. They saved a couple big shots from coming back.
Exactly. Crowder kept them in the game for a while. I mean, Cam Johnson just erupted at one point.
Yep.
and I thought I wanted to see CP say, I'm going to try to bring us back. If I can't, all right, we lose.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously Booker couldn't do that because he was sitting down, and CP really never tried.
No, he didn't.
CP only got some points when the game was pretty much out of reach.
Right. And the Suns, the way the Suns are built, they're comfortable with that. So CP should be comfortable with it. You know?
Yes.
If he did that, the Suns would, all right, that's CP. That's how we lose. I'm not going to lose when you only getting 19 points. Come on.
Yes. And he's still like, when he was getting tough shots and making them.
He was.
Yeah. He just didn't take nearly enough.
Nope. No.
That was, and CP, this is where like his point guard mentality maybe hurt the team a little bit, which I don't mind. But again, this was, I would not have had a problem if he went 5 of 20 or, 8 of 25, something crazy like that.
Yeah. Because
the Bucks, like the Bucks made a much more concerted effort to contain the role players. So that kind of frustrated me. But none of these are problems that I don't think they could overcome.
Right. One more to that, the CP point. For best players, when you're watching games and you're taking stats, you always got to think, okay, well, what is this person's percentage of the team's wins most of the time? Like, how much percentage of the points should CP average for the team? Probably a quarter, a little less than a quarter, 20%. But in the games where you're not getting Booker's 20%, I need at least 40% from CP. You gotta make it up somewhere.
And Ayton got in foul trouble, so he couldn't be involved at all.
Right. In game 2, you see, and this is where, to me, where you see greatness, and I have been a critic of Giannis for a long time. But you see the team wasn't playing good. Giannis gave his percentage and some, 40. You don't lose in the finals not giving everything. Yes. Putting everything on the line, taking as many shots as you can when you're the best player on the team, best player on the court. Giannis went out there and got 40.
You know what I liked? Where I didn't really like him yelling in the huddle at one point.
Yeah.
Because nobody responded.
Right.
But you know what I liked is at a certain point, if guys aren't responding, that's on them. And Drew Holiday was not responding. And I don't remember at what point in the game this was. But Giannis said, yo, forget whatever set you're trying to run. Just give me the ball.
Yep.
And that's something I don't see that much from him.
No.
And the way game 2 was going, I was like, yes, like this is exactly the kind of wake-up call this offense needs.
Absolutely.
So that's one thing that's throughout this series so far, Giannis is really emerging as the guy that everybody's comparing him to, or all these ESPN graphics are comparing him to.
Yeah. Yeah. He's definitely setting that foot into a winner. He's becoming a winner to me.
Yes,
for sure.
Prior to game 2, I was all Phoenix. I wanted Phoenix to win. I was going into game 3. Like I'm okay with this being a sweep, honestly. But after that game 3, man, it's tough not to root for Giannis because he's working for it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's, and I'm not trying to, I don't like Portis as much as I act like I do, but I think that's another reason why he plays so well with Giannis on the floor, because he is a guy who, if the best player wants to win, he wants to win.
Yes.
He's just a good worker, a loyal worker.
Yes.
He wanted to be on the Bucks so bad this offseason, and because he wanted to win. And that's more than I could say for a lot of other guys the Bucks bring in off the bench.
I will say I gave Drew Holiday credit for the shots. He's still missing fucking layups.
Yeah, and taking way tougher layups than he has to.
I don't like, he's missing makeable ones at this. Like, game 3, it was a lot of makeable ones.
Oh yeah.
Game 2, I agree, where it was a lot of like tough, like super athletic layups where it's like you're missing. Maybe get an easy one.
Right.
But in game 3, just the quality of layups was much better, and he still was just smoking them.
Yep.
That to me is shocking because that's one thing where I thought he'd be a huge upgrade over Bledsoe.
Finishing?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like I'd rather have Bledsoe's messy attempts because at least Bledsoe is keeping you honest by being aggressive.
Yeah, and Bledsoe, will just. I think Bledsoe's one of those guys who, if he misses a few easy ones, he goes and tries to get a tough one or goes and just comes right at your chest to get fouled.
Yeah.
Because he's like, all right, I missed the easy one this time. Like, I'm taking you with me on this one.
Yes.
Yeah. And Holiday doesn't, he doesn't do that much. He'll miss layups and then he'll take a tough three to try to get his rhythm for layups, which is obviously not the right.
Honestly, man, and this might be a hot take. I don't think it is. I think Holiday is a worse point guard than Bledsoe is. He's a much better player. But as far as being a point guard, I see Bledsoe used to attempt to play to the team's strengths.
Yeah.
I see Bledsoe just playing to his own strengths for better or worse.
Mm-hmm.
This Holiday, and I don't know how much of it is the team, how much of it is him, but there's he's too confident that he could do everything.
Mm-hmm.
I wish he would narrow down the style of player he could be.
Yeah.
At least for a team as complete as Milwaukee is.
Yeah, because I don't think if they didn't have Holiday and they just had Bledsoe and Hill still, I think they would be in the same boat that they're in.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I think Bledsoe probably wasn't the championship point guard they needed, but him being a point guard wasn't as much of a deficit as it was, made out to seem, I think.
As Holiday has been at times.
Yeah, right.
Just Holiday, I've been frustrated with him this whole playoff run because he doesn't show a feel for the rhythm of the game at all.
No.
And I get that with Damian Lillard isn't really a point guard, a traditional point guard, but he feels it. I mean, even scorers have some point guard feel for the game.
Well, one difference is, and this, I don't know this. This is just an observation from someone, from me who has played point guard my whole life. Jrue Holiday looks like someone who hasn't been point guard his whole life. He looks like he was a good player. He happened to be one of the shorter guys on the team.
Right.
So they say, okay, well, you bring the ball up, you can run point because you're strong. You play good defense on point guards. You can run point. The guys you're talking about, Dame, Steph, they have been point guard or at least, ball dominant two guard their entire basketball.
But that's
career.
why I go to scorers, because a lot of scorers have shown I have a lot of attention. I could get the team involved.
Right.
Bradley Beal has gotten much better at it.
Mm-hmm.
I think even Jason Tatum has gotten better at it.
He's gotten better. Yeah. Donovan is top tier.
Donovan has improved every year.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating from a guy. It's kind of like the Russell Westbrook issues,
mm-hmm.
where you should at least learn from you playing the position.
Yeah.
So, and I just don't see that so far.
There's no reason Holiday doesn't average 8 to 10 assists every night, even in the playoffs for the Bucks. To me,
honestly, 6 to 8, I'd live with. I think that's enough. Because they move the ball well enough to not require a high number of assists.
Yeah, they don't. It doesn't. I mean, they don't need it to win, but I just think it would be easy to get 8 assists for this team. The way he can get into the paint. There's Middleton out there. There's Lopez. There's Tucker, and everyone is just a lob away. Tucker's the only guy in the starting 5 that can't catch a lob.
And I see Tucker getting assists more often than Jrue Holiday.
Right. Easy ones from the corner, which is a tough place to get an assist from too.
That's the thing. When again, goes back to just the feel of the game. when they run PJ Tucker off the 3-point line, he drives and puts pressure on the defense.
Yeah.
Jrue Holiday just settles all the time.
If he's out there and he gets a chance to put, like, gather his feet, he's shooting it every time.
Yes.
Yeah. Tucker will give you a nice pump fake and try to,
little pump fake, dump it down. Giannis gets a dunk, or Portis or Lopez.
Or he'll give you that little 2-hand rubber on the backboard slap layup.
Yeah, he does that too. He lays it up like a clearly undersized big man.
Yeah.
Like Chuck Hayes or somebody. Like, But the problem is, like, I shouldn't get that from my 3-and-D wing more than the point guard.
Right.
Even if he's not a classic point guard, a lot of guys aren't classic point guards, and they find ways to create. So that's why Game 4 is the game I'm really looking for to see if Milwaukee like learned or not. Because while they did good things, honestly, I thought a lot of it was Phoenix losing and getting in, Ayton getting in foul trouble.
Yeah.
Because the way Ayton was heating up before he got his third foul, like, there's no way Phoenix would have missed as many shots as they missed.
Right.
Because they would have had more of an inside presence.
And would have had second chance shots.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if Phoenix adjusts more, or if Milwaukee like continues to build on the momentum they started taking.
Right. Yep, me too. Okay. So who do you got though? What do you think is gonna happen? I think Milwaukee builds on their momentum.
I do too. They're good at that. That's what's had them so successful this whole playoff run. I'm starting to think this series might play out very similar to the Brooklyn series. Where now I don't know if there's going to be somebody who does what KD did in Game 5.
Yeah.
But I think Game 5, I think an individual will really decide like that game.
Okay.
I'm not sure who it is.
Phoenix?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if Middleton goes back to Phoenix and plays like garbage again, they're not winning Game 7. I could tell you right now. If it goes that far and it's looking like it should, the way Holiday has just been playing and Middleton has kind of been so inconsistent.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not expecting Brook Lopez to step up because they're not putting him in positions to succeed.
Right.
And Bobby Portis can only do so much in the limited minutes he gets.
Right.
So, I think Phoenix will continue to let Giannis eat, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that is almost what you just have to live with at this point.
Yes.
Because you already proved you can win. You can beat them with him getting 40 and 12, whatever he got.
And what it does because when they guard Giannis in single coverage, they could contain everybody else much better.
Yeah.
So I don't see them getting away from that game plan unless Game 4 something drastic happens, like they just go lights out, which they could do. But we'll see.
Middleton is due for a big game. So I think in your scenario, if someone decides Game 5, I think it would be my pick is Middleton for it. And I think the Bucks could win 3 in a row, and then we'll really have a series.
I'll give you a less expected pick. I think Ayton could take over Game 5.
That's a good pick. Very, very good pick. Very good pick. Okay. Team USA has taken 2 L's at this point.
Did they lose?
No
way they lost again. There's no way.
Well, I had it playing in the background of what we're doing right now, and
there's no way. I gotta check now because
I looked up and Patty Mills was giving the post game interview. So I have a
There's
strong
no way they're interviewing Patty Mills post game if they lost.
Australia 91, USA 83. Patty had 22, and they were showing his highlights. Oh man, he was getting layups too. That little pump fake pass to the corner, cut to the basket, easy layup. That's his game.
He cuts like he's like a top tier cutter in Australia.
Oh yeah,
he's a good cutter in the league, but in Australia, I don't know if it's the coaching. I don't know, maybe it's something about their system.
Yeah,
but his cuts are like devastating.
Yeah, they are. USA is taking their second loss in a row in the exhibition games, of course. I don't know if they're doing this on purpose just to come out in the Olympics and absolutely wreck teams. Good old Aaron Baines.
They're not good enough to do that. Let's keep it at 100. I hope if that's what they think they're doing, they're in for a rude awakening.
Man, I don't know. It's kind of funny how they're still calling just anyone who beats USA an upset. To me, after they lose to Nigeria, there's no more upsets.
Oh, yeah. No offense to Nigeria. USA is another team now.
Right.
They're not a favorite. They're not like way better.
Right. No offense to Nigeria because they got ballers, but
and a good coach.
Great coach. But nah, man. We can't do this. We can't keep doing this. Thibault was eating. Everybody was eating.
Did you say Thibault?
Yeah.
Matisse.
Yeah.
You got 3 and D guys who haven't even really worked on their shot that much eating.
This Basketball Australia Twitter post says Mills Thibault combo has the praying hands up next to it.
You know what this shows?
Like they're a dynamic duo.
Again, I didn't watch either game. We won't really get to like analyze their games till the real games start.
Right.
Maybe I'll catch one of the late exhibitions if I get a chance. The epidemic that the bad defense has been in the league.
Yeah.
It's rearing its ugly head here.
It's now an international incident. It's like a pandemic at this point.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's why I use the word epidemic, because it's like a spreading disease.
Yeah.
And it's very contagious, very easily spread.
Yep.
Because just watching the highlights of the Nigeria game, think about the thought of a team scoring 60 points from 3.
That isn't Team USA.
You would think by like 30, 45, there would be a concerted effort to run guys off the line.
Mm-hmm.
No, let's just expect they miss.
By the way, for those who aren't good at math, 30 points from threes is 10 threes. So
they hit 20. They hit exactly. They're like setting league records.
Yeah. I think it's their national team's record for sure.
I would not be surprised at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it's again like this idea that they have to give something up. They don't have to like just die by it.
Right.
No versatility. I'm watching the highlights. Gabe Vincent is ripping through layup.
Yep.
I mean, he's like Damian Lillard has to hesitate in the league to get a layup or make like a quick change of pace move.
Yeah.
But Gabe Vincent could just rip through and nobody could guard him because I guess rip throughs are really tough. What? Right. It's like pickup defense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about is these guys, they clearly don't practice enough.
Mm-hmm.
They clearly don't value the little aspects of what it takes to win.
Right.
All they care about is extending the range.
And you know, when I first read this roster, I thought it was nice. I thought we had a lot of versatility.
We were both very excited.
But you know what? I realized we have no specialists on the team at anything. Like Draymond, he's kind of lost his specialist card to me. But What, Zach LaVine's a dunk specialist? There's no other specialist on the roster.
He's really not.
I was just like, man, we have always had a guy who can shoot. We've had a guy who is athletic. We've had a guy who just does this. Now we have a bunch of guys with like the, B plus on everything on 2K. Like that's what we have for everybody, But we have a couple guys A minuses, but
my problem with that is 2012 and 2008 guys who aren't specialists come in and say this, we need a specialist in this way. This is what I'm going to do.
And they picked and roll. Right.
Russell Westbrook in 2012 came in, picked up full court, pushed the tempo every time, and just yelled like he was Bobby Portis every highlight.
Yeah.
Melo,
even if it wasn't him.
Melo was playing in 2012 like he's playing now.
Yeah.
But these guys now these guys, they don't have that like level of awareness.
Yeah. The thing is, the difference is there's really no Olympians on this team. I mean, Durant, he won, but it wasn't the same Durant as it is today. And I mean that in a bad way. But the thing is, everyone wants to be who they are there. Like Tatum, you can't be the Celtics Tatum on Team USA. You just can't. Beal, you can't take 40 shots on Team USA. You can't do it. Zach LaVine, you have to pass on Team USA.
Dame is playing like he's in Portland.
Yeah. But, I mean, for better or for worse, I mean, at least he has
only worse. It's only worse because it hurts, like, the talent of this roster.
Yeah, but it does, but I think Dame is the rare case for them that if he doesn't do that, what is he doing?
Good point. He was in a lot of the like, dude, your defense, you're not even playing defense moments against Nigeria.
Right. That's true. Yeah. But in this game tonight, he had, I think he led them in scoring. He had 16 in the first half, and that's what Dame does. But he doesn't have to come out of the second half and take 30 shots, obviously. So he can't do that. No, obviously you can't do that. Draymond, no turnovers, please. No hard fouls, no flagrant fouls and turnovers. We don't need that. Kevin Love, we need you to be healthy and play. So it's like, it looks like this, and Kevin Love's an Olympian, so let me give him his respect. But it looks like a lot of these guys want to come there and just be, like they got picked because of who they are in the league. They got picked because of their skill set that we want to transfer onto Team USA. That's it. The skill set, not you. You got to play for Team USA.
But again, it comes back to the main point where none of that matters if you can't get stops.
Oh, of course not.
Because 2012, and I remember 2012 way better than 08. In 2012, they struggled to score at times.
08 was the
Kobe.
That was the Redeem team?
Yes. Kobe taking care of Spain by himself in the final.
Yeah.
But 2012, I remember they struggled to score on a number of occasions in a number of games.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Not Nigeria, surprisingly, but a lot of the other games, they struggled to score, but the defense was 100% all the time.
That was the year Dwight went?
2012? No, that was 08. I think Dwight was in 08.
08, okay. Chandler. We had Chandler then.
Yes.
Yeah, Chandler was cleaning the glass.
Specialist.
Yeah. That's the thing. We had at least 2 or 3 every time. It wasn't like the whole team. I'm not saying the whole team needs to be specialists. Yes. But we had 2 or 3 that was like, all right, we know what he's on the team for.
Yeah, and a number of guys have to step up and be specialists.
Right, exactly.
And I'm not.
Good point.
2 games in, nobody seems to be wanting to do that.
No. And Dame, unfortunately, Dame is one of those guys like, all right, we lost first game. I'm getting buckets this game. Like we can't lose this game. And the thing is, when I looked up there towards the end of the game, he wasn't in the game. So, I don't know. I don't know what the game plan is. I'm sure he's getting a lot of these guys reps. It's only the exhibition games, but still, we got to at least show we can win. We can't go in there, come into the Olympics 0-4, talking about, here we go, we're gonna get it done. It's not. We can't do that. Not how it works.
And all these teams, they're built like teams.
Yeah, they are.
And now the talent is catching up, and you're making that even more of a problem because the talent didn't catch up all the way.
Right.
It's not like there's rosters in other countries better than what we got.
Of course not.
Right. You giving up 60 points on wide open 3-pointers.
Yeah.
You giving up layups to Okogie, who barely plays in Minnesota.
Right.
He's pretty good. But he shouldn't just be attacking guys on an island.
He shouldn't score on a team full of all-stars.
Exactly.
Let's be frank about that. He's good, but he's not that
good. He scored regularly.
Yeah, he did. And even if he didn't score, he was in the paint. He was living in the paint.
Yeah, and that's how they got so many wide open shots.
Yeah. The Nigeria one is bad. Australia, I'm not mad at Australia. I've said before, I think bad. Patty Mills is the best Olympic player of my lifetime. I think his jersey should be retired in the Olympics because he's absolutely eaten for Australia. They got a good squad. They got a lot of NBA players, Baines, Ingles, Dybel, Exum, those guys. I don't think Bogut is playing this time, but they got guys. So I'm not completely mad about that loss. That's one that we might lose to them for real in the Olympics. But Nigeria, unacceptable. And no offense to Nigeria, congratulations on the dub. Good dub, obviously, great dub. But come on, Team USA. We can't do that. We can't lose to Team Nigeria. I can't have it.
I'm looking again. I'm thinking back to 2012. Russell Westbrook stepped up and became a specialist who's never been a specialist in the league.
And so it hasn't since then either.
Darren Williams, who barely could be a specialist when he was, running on thin legs because he was getting hurt all the time.
He was a great facilitator that Olympics.
Exactly.
Great.
D Wade was a specialist in 2008 and 2012.
He was defense and cutting. That's it. That was it.
It's hard. Like Kobe and LeBron they were like the clear cut, not specialist guys. And even Durant in 2012 was only feasting off the ball movement.
Yeah. Durant was a catch and shoot player.
Yeah. He would just attack and make defensive plays.
The crazy thing about Durant is that's still what he is in the league. He just for some reason, sometimes he chooses not to do it. That's still his game. In the big scheme of things, honestly, Durant is still a catch and shoot specialist. That's what he does best.
Yes.
He could score on people because he's, bigger on people. He's talented, but his game is still catch and shoot. And he hasn't done that in the last 2 games for the Olympic team.
I think, once we get into the regular games, we'll talk about Popovich's game plan and what he's doing more.
Yeah. And he has to get a feel for these guys, I'm sure.
Right. But these guys have to do some soul searching and they have to step up and be coachable.
Yeah.
They have to step up and be winning players.
Yeah. I do think it's unfortunate we didn't get more vets to go. I understand, the shortened season. I mean,
I guess we got to lose again and get a redeem team in 4 years for LeBron is going to come back.
I was going to say that's going to be disgusting because it's going to be the guys who are on the team now.
They're going to be young guys in 4 years.
Because at least the team before the redeem team last time, they were like the older guys. Tayshaun Prince, I think Chauncey went. Like a lot of the Pistons went. Sean Marion was there. So it was like guys who were on their way out kind of their prime. We got guys in their prime now So
it's showing also just how like Luka's dominating with his team. Like we're probably going to see Jokic. I'm not sure if they made it. But if they made it, we'll see him. Obviously, Patty Mills and a number of Australian guys. We just saw with Nigerian guys.
Did Bogdanovich join his team?
I believe he did.
Okay.
But again, I'm not sure. But the point is the IQ. Those overseas guys dominate with IQ.
Yeah.
Whereas the USA guys have gotten more and more dependent on athleticism. And it's showing. That's why the margin has caught up as quickly as it has.
And the other problem is if we take an L this time, next time the other teams are going to be better. So
for sure. And now there's not that like fear factor at all.
Yeah.
It's already gone.
Yep. I've seen some of the prospects coming out of France. They got some guys. Australia is still going to be good. Ben Simmons will be in Australia next time. I mean,
Spain is always good.
Spain's always good. Yeah.
Argentina plays like they're always good.
Yep. One of those European teams with the Bogdanoviches, Luka, Porzingis. We got a lot of guys that next time we're going to be really ready.
Yep.
So I don't know, man. I don't want to see Zion. I don't want to see just a Duke team on the Olympics next time. I don't want to see Zion, Ingram, Tatum, and we can't have RJ Barrett, Reddish. I don't want to see that. Because obviously Canada is going to be good too.
I really don't care who we see. If they're not going to play any fucking defense, this result is going to continue to happen.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. All right. Is there anything else?
Big sports weekend. There's some other stuff we could talk about.
Djokovic, 20th slam. 20th major.
I've been hesitant to say this. He's the greatest tennis player of all time.
Yeah,
I know I'm late. You've probably been there already.
He's the GOAT.
I don't know if it was the childhood love I had for Federer when he was dominating.
Yeah.
I don't know. Federer still, to me, has the best backhand I've ever seen.
It's great.
But Djokovic's mobility, his consistency.
And Djokovic, the way he's actually gotten better, like even at this age, like at 34, 33, 34, he's still getting better and still like surpassing people.
Yeah.
Just weird.
And I liked Berrettini a lot, man. I think he could be really good. I told you this after the game. I think he's got the tools to be really good.
Yep.
It was kind of weird because he was moving really well in the final. And the commentators were talking like it was kind of surprising that he was moving so well. And if he continues to get better at that, all his other tools, his serve game is really great. Like he serves with such power.
Yep.
Even on the second serves, when he gets a fault, he serves with power.
Yeah.
His return game is really good. He's creative.
Yep.
So he's got the tools to be really good, but that consistency, that's what separates good from great.
Yeah, man. I said this. I said this to you off air. Djokovic got to be like the worst matchup for the young guys, man.
I know.
Because
Federer was like this too.
He was, but sometimes the really athletic guys would catch Federer on an off night.
He looked a little more. He looked more. What's the word I'm looking for? Like Djokovic looks indestructible.
Yeah.
Federer didn't look quite like that.
Right. Because Federer there was always a matchup that was always hard for Federer. Obviously Nadal, or it would be one of those.
Davydenko used to give him fits.
Yep. Even when Wawrinka, before he had all those shoulder surgeries or whatever, it was the young, athletic, really strong guys.
Even Roddick could have beat him that historic final, I remember.
Yeah. So it would be the athletic guys that would give Federer fits, and then the smart guys would, finesse guys would give Nadal fits, But Djokovic is just like the mix of both, where it doesn't matter.
I know.
It doesn't matter, and you can see in the young guys. Who did he play? The last tournament in the final, was it Tsitsipas? Or
I think so.
Yeah, you could see in his face like it was just defeat. It was just like, man, I just do not know how to beat this guy.
Yep.
Yeah, it was just it's funny how that is for the young guys to play a vet like Djokovic.
It's tough. I would have been interested, like, if Murray hadn't broken down suddenly.
Yeah.
Because Murray started to kind of push through like the stigma of him, coming up short in finals.
Yeah.
And he was kind of on his way to be great. And he had a lot of the consistency tools that Djokovic had. So it would have been interesting to see, him battling with Novak for another like 4 or 5 years.
And they had battles.
Exactly.
That when Murray won the Olympics, did he beat Djokovic? I think he did.
I don't want to be wrong.
But I don't know if it was in the final, but I think he beat Djokovic in that.
Yeah. And that was, he had, I think around that year that, like, I forgot what year it was, but he showed that he could beat anybody. He could play as well as anybody.
It was whenever the London Olympics was.
Yeah.
Because he was playing at home. That's what made it such a big deal.
I don't know.
What is it? 4 years from, so 16.
Yeah, I think it was 2016.
Yeah. Because 12 was Rio, right?
I forgot what injury he had, but it was like nerve damage. It was something like really bad.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because it really couldn't be fixed all the way. I remember them saying.
Yeah, he couldn't even, like, Federer has had a lot of problems, with age and just breaking down, but he's been able to recover to at least play.
Yeah.
Murray couldn't do that at all.
And Nadal has only really ever played 2 tournaments a year.
Nadal has had like 2 or 3 stretches where he's just unstoppable.
Yeah.
And then Djokovic has sustained that multiple times. Djokovic has broken down like all these other guys and has come back and still been able to do that.
And it's weird because when Djokovic first like started getting good, I remember this. I remember I was a little kid. I was at my grandmother's house for Christmas, and I remember seeing Djokovic like when he was. It might have only been like his 4th major or so, and they were like, "Oh yeah, he's the young guy looking to challenge Nadal and Federer," and I didn't realize he's only like a year younger than Federer. He's only like 2 or 3 years younger than Federer. Know. And I think he was the same age as Nadal.
I remember early on, man, and again, I was a Federer guy through and through. I was like, man, Novak, I don't think Djokovic is ever going to beat him.
Yeah.
Because he spent the first like 3 years, Federer was just dominated him.
Yeah.
Then he had that like push through. I want to say it was like 2011, 2012, something around that time. And he just became like the most complete defensive player. He's kind of like Floyd.
Yeah.
His defense is insane.
It is. Yeah.
It's just so like, he just makes you beat yourself.
Yeah. Cause he gets to everything.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. And he hit some crazy shots, and then he'll just blow you off the court with his serves too. I mean, it's everything. It just, he's getting to the point where there's really no flaws in his game. And
he's been at that point.
Yeah. Since that 1 year he had, that was basically the undefeated year. I think he lost in the last final of the last tournament of the year or something like that.
Yeah.
And since then, I mean, that year it showed he just had everything. He was flawless. Yeah. You could talk about the soccer.
I mean, I'm happy for Messi, but that game sucked. Because once Di Maria scored, and I'm happy for him too, because he'd had a lot of problems choking in big games. But after they had that goal, it was just like, yo, Brazil, y'all barely touching the ball.
Yep.
We not even putting ourselves in position to lose this. No way. And then I watched Sunday. It was a completely different story where England scores immediately. And I'm like, oh no, like it's going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
They're going to play keep away and just pass it back and forth.
Italy flipped that switch.
But England kept attacking in the first half.
They did, yeah.
And then Italy was sloppy in the first half, but in the second half, they just made more of an effort to get up.
Yeah.
And it showed because their goal was pretty sloppy.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just them getting it more forward constantly. And it was a good job by their coach subbing in another like attacking player.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, it was a pretty even game.
Yeah.
They both had some chances, but it was pretty even game. I don't really have like anybody was better than the other team. So I thought it deserved to go to shootout.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the shootout was not good.
Right. Yeah.
A lot of misses, just bad penalties. I thought Harry Kane, after that Harry Kane, I think the third penalty, like the second England penalty that he made, which was really tough.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was just missing.
Yep.
And Italy, got lucky. I mean, I don't understand why England had a 19-year-old instead of Raheem Sterling.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's not like a criminal offense.
Right, right.
So it was a great game, man. It was a fun game. Italy, well-deserved. Italy and England both had a really spectacular run to get to this point.
Yep. Big time run. Yep. All right. What else we got? Anything?
Did you see McGregor?
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
That was disappointing.
Yeah, it's like you said, bad way to lose. Yeah.
He didn't help, man. He's just like, it's tough to root for. I understand. Like more and more people are starting to hate him.
Mm-hmm.
And I get why, because the problem with him is his talking is top tier always.
Yeah.
His fighting is the same.
Bro, he's just, and this might sound super haterish, and obviously I don't mean this literally, but he's just a Paul brother that is actually like in the federation in the UFC.
That is super. He's a knockout artist. He's like a clock you, get you out.
But if I don't, it's just all talk.
If you could eat punches,
yeah.
If you could wrestle, oh dear God,
yeah,
Conor's gonna have nightmares.
Yep. Or if you are just a more trained boxer than him, a lot of times he just wins off of confidence. His punches are a lot of times just off of confidence. Exactly. He's not. We've seen him try to box. He's not a good boxer.
No. And once Khabib erased the invincibility factor, the hype factor, where it's like, okay, this guy could be beat.
Yeah.
Look at him. He's every fight I see less and less of like why he's a top tier fighter.
Yep. Dustin
Poirier, every fight has done something different and improved every fight.
Mm-hmm.
Conor's, I mean, he tried to copy the second fight, trying to kick him. Mm-hmm. I'm watching. I'm like, clearly this is not your game.
Yep.
And Poirier was just like handling him.
And the reason why I slightly disrespect him by just calling him a Paul brother.
It was not slightly. That's disrespect.
Well, let me tell you why. It's because he still makes the high end of every fight.
It's because of this. It's because of this right here. His mouth is better than any other UFC fighter.
He's a great promoter. Yeah.
Oh, top tier.
But that's why I say at this point, fighting him isn't because you're trying to excel your career. Because the problem is you make money for fighting him, but after that fight, your stock doesn't go up. Poirier makes no more money before fighting McGregor as he does after.
He doesn't, like, his reputation doesn't improve.
No. All you do is you you fight him for the payday that day of fighting him.
Yes. Again, I was frustrated that it ended that way.
Mm-hmm.
But then he's immediately talking about his wife, talking about she's in the DMs. Like, dude, take your fucking L like a man.
Bro, he was laying on the ground with broken legs doing that.
That's what I'm saying. Have you lost your mind? He's trashing Khabib in the Stephen A interview. Like, yo, Khabib handled you.
Khabib has handled everybody.
Like,
every
dude,
single person
L's like a man.
Khabib has handled every single person that he's fought. It's different if Khabib had only just beaten McGregor and maybe his record.
He has multiple title defenses.
Yeah, he's 20. A lot of these guys have good, decent UFC records, but they've gotten spanked in other MMA. Khabib has never lost at all. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. So it's what are you talking trash for, dude?
Bruh. It's again, it's so weak to me when you lose and talk shit.
And Khabib before the game bored with the UFC, by the way.
Huh?
Khabib was bored with the UFC. Yes. He was look, man, I know I'm 25. I'm 29-0, but
I've done everything I needed to do.
Yeah, this stuff is whack. I'm done with this. I'm going home to the farm.
Yeah, exactly.
This isn't even worth it anymore. I still can't lose.
Yeah, again, it's Conor's just the promoter. You talk shit before, I get it. You talk shit during, I get it. After you fucking lose,
yeah. And they'll pay you a couple million for the next 4 fight.
He might as well, bro. He might as well go fight Jake Paul at this point.
Yeah. He might as well go back to. He might as well fight another fighter. Fight Gervonta Davis or something like that. Fight someone that everyone knows he can't beat. Yeah. So if he fights the Paul brother, I wonder if it'll be boxing or MMA.
It's got to be boxing.
Jake may go to MMA training for 2 weeks be ready.
No way, dude. I would put money that it's a boxing match because
it's not like McGregor's gonna do anything that he, do anything special MMA wise. Not like he's gonna. Yeah.
It's time. The UFC has ridden his popularity and again his promoting talent far enough.
Yeah,
this needs to be the cutoff point.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's like a joke moving forward at this point to consider him like a box office fighter as if he's top tier. That's a joke to your own sport.
It's just the money, man. They'll take the joke if they get paid for it.
Maybe with Jake Paul, I don't mind. Or a boxing match with somebody like Pacquiao or something crazy. Okay. Entertainment. I got it.
Pacquiao would work, McGregor.
100%. Any real boxer would.
The problem is Pacquiao wouldn't play around like Mayweather did. It would be over second round. Pacquiao's not a dude that is going to be out there goofing off.
Oh, yeah. Pacquiao's a killer. He doesn't waste opportunities.
Yeah, he's not going to do it for the crowd, pretend to get hit like Mayweather did. That little tap that McGregor gave him. Mayweather went against the ropes. Oh, whatever. And then next round knocked him out. Pacquiao's not playing like that. That was so whack.
Yeah, Floyd,
it was so clear he was not hurt, dude.
I wish Floyd had that same Pacquiao mentality. Because you couldn't even question his greatness if he did.
Right, he'd be the clear GOAT.
I know.
He has the stigma of only fighting people after they've already been knocked out.
Yes, that narrative that he ducked top tier competition in a lot of stretches.
Mm-hmm.
He can't shake it now. Now it's gonna stick with him forever.
And he fought Canelo, and Canelo was just his first belt. After Canelo got his first belt, Mayweather fought him. He didn't even fight Canelo in his prime, obviously, because he's in his prime now. But yeah, yep, man. Well, what else? What other sports? Anything?
I think that's it, man. It was a big sport weekend.
Yeah. Maria Taylor got offered $3 million a year from ESPN after the drama that's been going on. It's gonna be interesting to see what she does. Haven't heard about Rachel Nichols' contract yet, but I'm sure it'll be nice. Sure, it'll be lit.
I like the jump, man. Whatever happens, I don't mind if they boot her off of like all the other stuff.
Yeah,
but hopefully she gets to keep the jump at least.
I agree. I love the jump. It's a great show.
And a lot of these guys, when they leave ESPN, they keep the show pretty similar. It's just their show now.
What do you mean?
Like, you know, the Miami guy, Le Batard, he's still like the show he does now outside of ESPN is the same type of show.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like more Skip. Of like a podcast type of thing. Yeah, Skip Bayless is the same.
Yeah.
You know, these guys, Jemele Hill's more versatile, but a lot of them just kind of keep the same style of content.
Yeah, looks like Jemele and Michael,
dude, I don't remember his last. Something basic.
Smith, maybe. I don't know. I don't want to be
Smith.
Wrong. Well, yeah. Losing that show really sucks because that was a great show. I liked their show.
I know their chemistry was good.
And I know he still works for ESPN, but I never see him anymore.
I didn't even know. I wouldn't have been surprised if you told me he doesn't work for ESPN.
I was watching something and I caught him. I was watching some weird time too, and then there he was. I'm like, oh, he still is at ESPN, huh? Like it was a shock to me. But yeah. Yep. All right, well, we'll be back after the next game for another game break in between.
Yeah.
And then give our deep dive if it goes much further after that. But yeah, until then, subscribe, like, share, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, everything. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.